My 26M, friend's girlfriend, 23F, is convinced I'm a neo-Nazi because of Warhammer. How can I protect myself? To start off, I, 26M, am a bit nerdy. I fix cars and do carpentry, but I also like Warhammer. I don't play the tabletop games, but I read a lot of the lore because I like science fiction. My girlfriend, 25F, is very sweet and got me an Imperium of Man flag. It's very small, just something I have in a little frame on my desk. My friend, call him Dave, from college, 26M, has a new girlfriend, 23F. She seemed nice, and they both seem happy together, so me and my girlfriend invited them over for dinner at our house. I showed them both around. I renovated it all myself, refinished floors, new cabinets, new trim and crown molding, etc. When I took them both to see my office that I put chair and panel molding I put up on the walls. Nothing really happened that night. She got really quiet after seeing my desk, but never said anything directly. When I asked my friend to visit again this week, he said he couldn't because I have alt-right insignia in my office. I got really confused and asked what he was talking about. He mentioned the Warhammer flag and said his girlfriend noticed it as a Nazi symbol. I texted both of them a wiki page from Warhammer to show what it's from. I thought that would be the end of it, simple mistake that was corrected after knowing better. Dave and his girlfriend didn't respond at all to the messages, but one of our other mutual friends reached out and told me she is telling our college buddies I am a neo-Nazi. I got a few other messages from these mutual friends coming in because they didn't believe her. I guess she doubled down and found connections between Warhammer and far-right extremism on some quacky articles online. My other friends all accepted that this lady is nuts and distanced themselves from them both. Normally I wouldn't really care what this woman thinks, but it has affected my relationship with Dave. I haven't been able to speak with or see him. I also know that she knows where I work, as a teacher, and she was saying stuff like I shouldn't be around children. I am worried she will report me to my job or something to try and get me fired. Dave is radio silent, and his girlfriend just seems to be spinning lies about me. TLDR, I have a Warhammer flag in my office, and my friend's girlfriend is convinced I'm a neo-Nazi, so I'm afraid she will try to report me to my work. What you say at work, if someone asks, is she misunderstood a symbol from Warhammer 40K. Assuming you are in a teacher's union, I'd suggest asking a union rep for advice. Hire a lawyer to send her a cease and desist letter. This is defamation. That way, if you do incur damages, i.e. lost your job, over this there is a paper trail. How to shut down another woman's, 30 female, obsession with my husband, 28 male, and his sister, 22 female? This will be a long, convoluted post. I'm allowing myself to vent a bit. My 30F, husband James, 28M, moved to this state when he was maybe 10 years old. His family has always attended the same church here, where he met Alice, 30F. They were typical church friends. Alice at some point developed a crush on James. He didn't consider it a big deal, as he was never attracted to Alice. He just went about his business and dated other people as a teen. Alice asked James to her senior prom, and, thinking they were going as friends, he went with her and was determined to give her a proper platonic prom experience with many photos, slow dance. This will be important later, and just being a gentleman to her. No after party or anything. James and I started dating when he was 19. His family was attending church 3 times a week, and I was just happy to be around him, so I went occasionally too, and met Alice. James and I sat together, ate together. I was happy to talk to her while at church. I need to include that Alice has a chronic health condition that requires strict supervision, meds every few hours, she can't drive, etc. So suffice to say people handle her with kid gloves. Problems started to arise when I began tagging along on church excursions. She made a pattern of lying to her parents and other church members that I was excluding her and telling her she couldn't be around James. She went so far as to get lost in an amusement park for hours only to be found wandering alone and blamed me. On a church retreat I was on, she told me she had to stay at the hotel to work on college assignments, even told James' sister Becca the same, while the rest of the church went out on the town. Alice's mother chewed me out the next morning for excluding her daughter, disrespecting the church and God, etc., etc. I distanced myself from James' church at that point. I was around 24 years old then. As the whole family, James' eldest, Becca, 22F, another sister and brother, grew up, Alice was very vocal about disapproving of Becca's fashion choices, think Billie Eilish. I, being a hairstylist, was the family colorist, and all the kids experimented with the full rainbow of natural and unnatural hair colors. Alice had a panic attack when she saw James with dyed hair for the first time. Over and over again, Becca would tell James and I that Alice would lecture her about her clothes, her hair, her 2 dainty and meaningful tattoos, and about James. Alice was away for college for several years, moved out of state for a time, but whenever she saw Becca, she would start up again. James and I got married 2 years ago. I refused to have Alice's parents or her at our wedding. James has not attended church since, fully his choice. I actually have visited other churches in that time, but James is not comfortable accompanying me. Becca still attends the family church and runs the soundboard and virtual broadcast when needed. Becca came over yesterday and told us that last weekend, she was running the electronics during the sermon when Alice, who is back in town for the time being, sits next to her and starts up about James. How it's a shame he cut off his girlfriends when he got married, but she's not surprised. How the whole church wishes James had married her instead of me. She then recapped her senior prom to Becca, especially the slow dance and how James almost leaned in for a kiss. Then she asked, "Don't you wish he'd married me instead, too?" Becca responded, "I mean, I like my name." I don't even remember what else she told us Alice said, because at this point I'm thinking Alice needs a serious talking to, for her own sake really, and that Becca shouldn't have to put up with this. She needs to be confronted. Becca's boyfriend suggested that James should be the one to sit down with Alice or FaceTime her and tell her she needs to move on. I told James he shouldn't text Alice this because she'd probably just think I wrote it. Everyone agrees James needs a witness for this conversation because if Alice is this delusional and a known liar, she might even accuse James of yelling at her or something crazier. I think the witness should be Becca, and maybe she can set some boundaries with Alice for herself too. Becca told me it's nothing personal against me, and I know she's right. I still have human emotions about this, and I'm mildly disappointed I can't get involved or even eavesdrop because I find Alice's obsession entertaining, to be honest. I never did anything to her, and frankly I'm embarrassed for her. James and I haven't seen her in years, but I feel really sorry for Becca, who will have to continue being around her at church. Any advice on what James and Becca can say to Alice? It's a delicate situation for sure, and I'm out of good ideas. ETA, I see the logic in ignoring Alice and letting Becca handle it. However, I would love to get out ahead of this specifically because James and I will be seeing Alice at Becca's wedding in the next couple years. And I would hate for Alice to ruin Becca's day, or really even mention this crap during wedding planning or on Becca's big day. Grandmama advice. She is seeking interaction. Don't give it on any level. Ignore her. She's a very odd woman. You haven't seen her in years, so you won't bump into her again, hopefully. His sister Becca just needs to shut down any conversation if she starts talking about your husband. Why is your husband even considering talking to Alice? That adding fuel to the fire. I, 38M, told my wife, 39F, she's being a bad person because of how she's taken money behind my back from our joint savings over the last 5 years. She's been on off crying for the last 2 weeks because of it. Didn't get me anything for Valentine's. Hi. We met about 6 years ago, opened a joint savings which I put most into about 4 or 5 years ago, and married 3 years ago. We also have a 3-year-old. The house is hers, which I moved into and started paying her rent, which is about 50% of her mortgage, and bills since we moved in together. I earn slightly more, but she works less hours to look after our 3-year-old when not at nursery. When we opened the joint account, we said that we would both agree on what we would spend the money on. I put the majority of the money into the joint account. However, there's been probably 7 or 8 times when she has withdrew large amounts of money without telling me. When we first opened the account, I would use my personal account when spending on us, but found out she was sometimes using the joint account. For example, if we went away for the weekend for her birthday, I would pay from my personal account. But as she took us away for my birthday, would pay using the joint account. She did this a few times before I noticed, and then a few more times even after we spoke about her doing it. Overall, she probably spent over £1,000. Then another time her friend recommended some investment. She took close to £10,000 from the account and lost most of it. She was crying, so I told her we would save it back up. When we got married, we overspent, so we decided that we would save up again before going on honeymoon. Anyway, shortly after says her friend has a place abroad we can stay in. So I pay for flights and almost everything out of my personal account whilst we are there. When we get back, she's taken £2 3,000 out of the joint account. She doesn't tell me. I find out and have to ask her about it. She says expenses on our honeymoon, but it doesn't add it up. I booked flights and paid for most things whilst there. There's been 2 or 3 more instances like this. Anyway, we have been trying for another child, but she had to have fertility treatment in December. We had to spend almost all of our savings for the treatment and fly to another country. When we come back, she has taken the last out of our joint savings. I know she doesn't have any money left because of the treatment, but instead of telling me, takes it from the joint account and tries to make up some excuse. I don't want to cause an argument as she's just had fertility treatment, so just leave it. Anyway, about 2 weeks ago, I bring it up that I don't want to carry on with her taking from our joint account behind my back. We argue a bit. I say something similar to this. The total you have taken behind my back over the last 5 years is probably £30 40,000. Would a loving or caring wife keep taking their husband's money behind their back? Or is that what a pad person would do? And then carried on saying that she can't keep taking money behind my back, and we need to work on how we're going to do this going forward. We haven't argued since then, but she has been upset multiple times. Today, Valentine's Day, we both usually buy gifts. She's been crying all day yesterday, all day today so far. Then says she's going out with a friend instead. I know it's because I said a loving or caring wife wouldn't do what she did. I feel like I said something horrible, but we've been having the same argument for 5 years, and she keeps going back on what we agree. Did I go too far with what I said? Just looking for opinions. TLR. For last 5 years, wife has on off taken money from joint account behind my back. Usually makes up an excuse. Every time we spoke about, we said that we would both agree before anybody takes from the account. Anyway, it's been 5 years, and she's probably taken close to £40,000 from behind my back from the account, which I put most in. Usually it is for us, and not for her personally, like she wanted us to go on holiday, or she put money into an investment, and I'm quite confident that if it had been positive, she would have shared the money. But I've told her it's enough. She can't keep taking from the account behind my back. We argued, and I said something like, would a loving and caring wife keep taking money from their husband behind their back? Or do bad people take money from someone behind their back? She hasn't moved past what I said. She's been down for the last 2 weeks, some nights crying. She's cried all last night and this morning. A couple of thoughts spring to mind. 1. What is she speeding the money on? 2. Why have you not closed the joint account? I think it best you both take control of your individual finances. She proved over and over and over again that she can't be trusted with the joint account. So close it. What if you needed the money for a real emergency? A classic projection and manipulation. Close the joint account. Me, 33M, and my partner, 33F, are on a break, I think. We had Valentine's Day plans, and she canceled it. Hey, race, what she said. I'm sure it's over, but what do you all think? I posted here before about out situation. But here is what she sent me last night. Hi, sorry I've not replied. Her friend is still here, and we've been deep cleaning the house. Eve been thinking about it, though, and I just really don't think tomorrow is a good idea for me. Because of how I'm feeling with just being in a weird headspace, I don't think doing stuff for Valentine's Day would be appropriate. I honestly really value and respect you, and have not been fair towards you at all recently, and I'm really sorry for that. It hasn't been on purpose, but reflecting on it, I haven't been great, and that's not nice for you at all. Her friend will be here for another few days, so I would rather just go to my sister's tomorrow and spend time with the kids, her sisters, for the weekend. Sorry, I hope you can understand XX. I replied with, I understand. I care about you, and I think it's best you reach out when you feel ready to talk properly. She replied, thank you, I really do appreciate it, X. All my gut it telling me it's completely over. Others have said it's not over, she's just overwhelmed and needs time to think. If this was a breakup text, it wouldn't be as warm as it was. I don't know how to feel, I'm just numb. I'm not going to contact her at all until she contacts me. But to the girls out there, or even the guys, does this sound like a we're over text, or do you think she might just be overwhelmed? Too long did not read. Been seeing each other for a year or more now, and over the past 3 weeks seems like I'm the only one trying to keep us going. She sent me this last night, and I don't know how to take it. Advice. Edit. Thank you everyone for the messages and support in DMs. It means a lot to me. If she wants to contact me, she can, but I won't be contacting her. If she really values me, she'll reach out. If not, that I guess we're done. Yeah, she doesn't want to be with you, and is just scared to get rid of the safety net by saying it like it is. Many people are like this. Side note, people in healthy committed relationships do not need breaks. Sounds over to me. Move on. Yes, it's over.